Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your girl, Debby, and thank you for tuning into season 1 of Let's Get Into It podcast. I have a special guest with me, Nelly, Yosnelly. And today we're going to be talking about healing, marriage, and love because we certified lover girls over here. We love love.
We sure are.
So, how have you been? What's going on with you?
Girl, life sometimes be lifing. Like, it's crazy.
All the time for me.
It's crazy, but, it's just kind of like pushing through.
And getting through it.
And getting through it and doing the best that you can do every day.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I actually brought you on this podcast episode specifically because you're married and I don't really have a lot of women around me that are married. Like, none of the women in my immediate family are married. The only person that I've seen in a marriage was my mother, which, my mother and my father got a divorce.
Right.
So I never really seen somebody in a marriage because they split up when I was like about 11 years old. So that's how I brought you in this specific topic because you're married. So, and I want to get married one day. So I want to know like the struggles, the ups, the downs of marriage. Because it's something that I want, in the future.
Right.
I know marriage is not something that's easy peasy, like it's like you go through your ups, downs. Because especially when you're in a long-term marriage, it's like you have to accept your partner and be patient with them in every season because we're all going through seasons. And this is why I made this podcast by seasons, So how is that being married for you? Like,
marry has a lot of blessing in its own, however, like you have to choose every day to stay married to this person, love this person, grow old with this person, accept their faults, accept their shortcomings. And it's hard, right? Because we were all raised differently. We all come from different backgrounds, different morals. So when you have another person, another human being that comes from a whole different like household dynamic, growing up, it definitely challenges you as a person. And it takes a lot to be able to say, I love this person. How can I make this work? And that in itself is a struggle because we're all humans. We all have shortcomings. We all have doubts. We all have our little demons, and so marriage is hard. I'm not going to be sitting here and telling you marriage is easy, girl, because it's not, it's hard. It's really hard. But there are beautiful things about marriage, especially when you have children, especially when you're building a home together. When you're building a future
like
together.
A unit, like that's basically like you guys
yes
that's the best feeling because that's what I'm saying. Like, I want to get married and I want to meet a man who will accept my son and I, because when you have kids, and that's another thing, like you were a single mother at one point with your daughter, so that was like, okay, you're dating with a child and we come in a package, so the man that I meet has to accept me and my child and love my child the way I love my child,
right?
So, and that's difficult to find.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was definitely more like my child comes first.
Period.
Like I am a mother before I am a woman. And if you are unable to love my child, that means that you're not capable enough to be the man that I need you to be for me. And so, my husband, I met him when I was, raising my child as my own. We were really good friends. And I think that helped us create a family or want to be able to create a family together because he was able to build that connection with my daughter as my friend. But most definitely, I think it's really hard for a single woman, especially when you have a child, to be out there and dating because you don't know what to expect.
Right, and you can't trust everybody.
Yeah, you can't trust. You hear a lot of things and you just can't trust everybody. However, I always say, the man that loves your child, takes care of your child, steps up to the plate is the right man that's willing to want to create a home with you or even want to work on building a future with you.
Right.
And
he has to be all the way in because from my experience, I've only so first of all, I've been single for 3 years, girl. Let's start there. I've been single for 3 years, but I've been in situationships. And I was in a situationship for 2 years. But this guy, we were friends first or whatever. And he was really good to my son. Like, that's one thing I can't take. He was really good to my son, but it was like, he didn't have no kids. He didn't really, like, he knew the responsibility of having a kid, but not really because he didn't have no kids. So it was like, what I was trying to explain to him that he didn't really understand was like, hey, like, it's either you're going to be all in or you're not going to be in at all. Because I'm a mother. I got to protect my kid.
Right.
You know? So it's like, that's where it gets mixy. Like, okay, when you start dating and you meet a guy and it's like, okay, he want to be, like, if it doesn't work out, he still wants to be a part of your child's life. Like, have you ever experienced that? Because I don't even know how to navigate this. I'm more like, I want to be a mama bear. I want to protect my child. Like, I don't need no in and outs, you know?
Right. I mean, for sure, I had my own experience before actually starting to date my husband. And it was a good experience. And also, it was not the best experience. And the reason why is because, like that, you have to, like, learn boundaries. You have to learn to build those boundaries. Even if your heart is telling you, yo, you love this man, or you want to be with this person, or you know what? Like, not even love, but you have an attachment to this person.
Yeah.
How can you detach yourself and not want to be around this person or allow this person to come into your child's life, you know? And that's hard, but at the end of the day, as a mother, do you want somebody coming in and out?
Absolutely not. That's what I'm saying. I got to protect my child because at the end of the day, it don't matter what I feel. Right. It matters what he feels because he's going to remember that feeling.
Exactly.
And he's going to take that with him when he grows older. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm like, that's why for me, when I date and stuff like that, I don't let people get close to my son.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, you have to really, really, like, learn how to build your boundaries. However, you also have to learn as a woman to be vulnerable enough to want to make those connections. Yeah. Because if you're always putting your guard up, you know, you don't know if you're missing out on a good opportunity.
That's
you know,
me.
You don't know if maybe, you know, you had the right person in front of you, but because you're so guarded, you're so protective, because not only your son, right? You're also being protected of, I don't want to get hurt again.
Yes.
I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to deal 100%. With the heartbreak. Yeah, I don't want to deal with the heartbreak. And
that's where healing comes in.
Right. And, you know, healing. And we had to talk about this the other day about, like, your inner child and how, like, our experience as daughters, you know, through our parents' marriages and our parents' experiences and their own relationship affected us, and how they continue to affect us through our
relationship and
relationship.
People,
you know, even our relationship with our kids.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard. And so you have to be willing enough to be, like, mindful of what you do, how you do it, and why you do it.
Yeah. How is healing for you? Like, how do you, what exercises do you do to heal?
I go to therapy.
Me too.
I go to therapy. You know, we come from, you know, a background where therapy is like a taboo.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
You go to therapy, you crazy. That's
Yo, I called my dad the other day. And I told my dad, I was like, Dad, because my dad is still stuck in 2012, okay? Every day he comes to my house talking about 2012. I'm like, bro, we in fucking 2023, about to be 2024. I'm like, I think you should consider therapy, right? He's like, for what? They just want to steal my money. They just want to steal my money. They a scam, this and this and that. But I'm looking at him like, Dad, it's okay. Mm-hmm. Like, you need to heal. Like, I know, like, my dad needs to heal. But that's just an example of, like, they think it's like, oh, they just trying to scam taboo, you. Like, it's a taboo, like, stuff like that.
You know, our parents come from a time where, like, being vulnerable enough to say, I'm sad, I'm angry, I'm hurt. You know, I feel hopeless, right? Mm-hmm. It just wasn't it. Like, what? You don't have time to feel hopeless. You don't got time for that. You a man. Like, grow up and move forward.
Right.
Same for a woman. Like, keep it pushing. You a mom. You a wife. You don't got time to feel sorry for yourself. You don't got time to feel bad for yourself. And
you got to go out and get it, for real.
Right.
Yeah.
And in essence, it all comes down to, how can I make sure my kids are good at the end of the day if I'm not good myself?
Yeah.
You know, like, if I'm not happy, how do I really make sure my kids are happy? Because whether you see it or not, kids, they're sponges, and they pick up on everything. Like,
and
everything.
Even when you think they're not listening, they're listening. Oh, like, yes. Every little thing.
Oh, yes. They're listening at everything. And so, you know, healing for me is therapy. I am a talker by nature, and
me too.
I will talk my business.
Yep. Yeah.
I will talk my business until my soul feels like, all right, I got it out. I can go out there and still do what I gotta do. Mm-hmm. I still can push through. I still could go to work. I still could be the best mom I can. I could still show up for my friends. I could still show up for my family, my sisters, my husband. You know, I could still continue to show up for myself. And that's the point of therapy. Therapy is a way of showing up for myself. And not a lot of people are accepting
that. We just got to clap real quick because I love that. I was not out.
No, it's true though. It's true. Like, you got to think about it. Like, how do you show up for yourself?
Right.
What are you really doing to really change your narrative? You know, like, and life is hard. You know, sometimes I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, sometimes I'm just like, I don't have the energy to go to therapy today. I really don't. I don't have the mindset. But you know what? When I walk in there and I talk what I gotta talk, and I leave, I feel like I could breathe.
Right. Like, you feel like, oh my God, I feel good. Yeah. I've been going to therapy too. Things that helped me heal was the gym. And I don't know why, like, nature. Like, even today, I woke up, like, my heart feeling heavy. I'm like, nah, I have to go outside. Like, I have to. I was like, I'm either going to go walk at the park.
Right.
Or I'm going to go on a hike. So I went on a hike, and I just was hearing, just in silence, hearing the waterfall and just playing meditation music. That really was for me to feel grounded. Like, okay, I need to be, like, you know, don't worry about, like, things that are out of your control. Right. So that helps me. And also therapy. Like, my therapist does exercises with me where it's like, damn, like, I didn't even notice this about myself. Like, there was this one exercise she did where she's like, close your eyes and think about your son. Because anybody that knows me, I'm like, my son is my world. Like, you know, you know how women be behind their kids.
Oh, yeah.
So she was like, picture your son. And then she started asking me questions. And I'm like, okay, cool. Then she's like, picture yourself as a child. Like, picture yourself at 5. And, you know, start talking to yourself. And it, like, made me cry. Because I was like, damn, I didn't even know, like, how bad I really need to fix my inner child issues. Because it's affecting all of my relationships, like, throughout. Like, I'm so standoffish, like, even with my family. Like, when I'm in relationships with, like it's so hard for me to trust. And, like, I have issues that I need to work on, and this is why I act the way I act at this age. So it's like, okay, I want to change. I want to be better because I don't want to pass these habits to my son, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I definitely understand you. You know, I'm the opposite of you. I actually am very welcoming, and at times I can be too welcoming. And it could be like the therapist nature in me because, you know, as you know, that is my job. However, you know, sometimes we're too welcoming that we forget to protect ourselves.
Boundaries.
We forget to protect our boundaries. We forget to protect our essence as a person. And so that can entail, like, stop you from really expressing yourself because, wait, I don't want to hurt you. I don't want to feel guilty. You know, I don't want to feel guilty for expressing how I really feel about how you made me feel, you know. And it's hard, you know.
It is hard.
It's really hard. And it's hard to sit there and be mindful of yourself and take responsibility.
Like, being self-aware.
Yeah, for how.
And that's what I'm learning, being self-aware. Yeah. Because so you piss me off, yo soy una perra. I will come mad beastie like, what?
No.
I'm trying to learn how to, like, okay, you got me upset. Let's talk about it in a calm way. Right. I'm really trying to master that in my life right now because I feel like every action does not deserve a reaction.
That is true. That is
what I'm learning right now.
You see, and we both, that's what it is. Healing is so different for everyone. Like, it just means different things all the time. Like, for me, healing is voicing myself. The same way I tell my clients, like, you need to express yourself. You need to say when you're sad. You need to say when you're mad. Don't stay quiet because it's eating you up in the inside, you know? Yeah. For me, it's like, all right, Nelly, like, you need to learn how to voice yourself. This person made you upset or what happened triggered you. State your triggers. State why it made you upset, you know? And part of me is that because I am the one to take a lot until I pop. And then it's like, oh, like sweat.
A ticking time bomb.
Yeah, and then it's like, oh, sweat. Nelly's fucked up.
That's how I am, though. Like, I will sit down here, but my problem is, like, when I go off and I start babbling and rambling. Like, it'll just all start spilling, and I'll keep talking about it till I can't no more. Like, you know? So it's like, I'm trying to be more self-aware and work on communication with my healing process. And I feel like therapy has helped me so much in so many ways. And I'm learning so much new things about Debby. Like, because it's like, I have a disconnect with, like, talking about healing and your inner issues, right? I have a disconnect with my mom and I have a disconnect with my dad. So it's like, there's a lot of things that I'm learning now at 25, turning 26, that I didn't even know like 2-3 years ago.
Right.
You know? So it's like, okay, now I got to do better. Now I got to be better because I have a child that's looking up to me, you know?
Yeah.
So.
And I mean, even now that we're talking about therapy and talking about our parents, I mean, you know, I've gone to marriage counseling. You know, I've gone to marriage counseling because there was times where like I couldn't relate to my partner. I couldn't relate to my husband. Like, how is it that you're this way? Like, I'm not used to that, right? Because my dad was a certain way, and so I expect the same because that's what I was used to my whole life. And when I say expect the same, is like my dad was so like romantic and so like giving and so expressive, you know? And so it was hard for me in my relationship to be like, so why you're not romantic? Like, what's going on? You know? And I had to learn that, like, why is it that I am expecting this of my husband? You know, is it because it makes me happy, or is it because it makes that little girl happy again? It makes that little girl, like, relive all those beautiful moments that she had with her dad, you know?
Oh, that's beautiful, though.
And but, you know, it takes a lot to, like you said, be self-aware of, like, the why.
Yeah. That's
why
the
I'm
big
like
thing.
this?
Yeah.
Why am I the Nelly that I am today, you know? And again, it, like, all your experiences, your relationship, whether they're friendships, you know, romantic relationships with your parents, sister, cousin, it don't matter. They shape you.
They do.
Whether you think they don't, they do. Even with your kids.
100%.
You know, like, I know we come from like times where, oh, you looking at me wrong, I'm gonna whip your ass. You know? But now with my kids, I'm like, I'm so gentle with them. I'm so caring. I give them the floor to say, Mom, you hurt my feelings, or Mom, like, I need to tell you something, you know?
Yeah, that's beautiful. I want to work on that. Like, I feel like when he's 5, so he's learning how to express himself, but that's something that I'm definitely working on. I don't always want to like yell at him and like, especially like, because I want, like, I'm his person.
Right.
I'm, you know, so it's like, I want him to be able to come to me and talk to me and say, Mom, this is how I feel about this, this, and this. But, you know, that's me working on that right now. So
yeah, I mean, it takes a long time. I mean, just think about it, like, it takes us that we're adults, that we're expected to already know this stuff, to be like, all right, I know this, I got this down packed. But honestly, we really don't.
yeah,
like, we really don't.
You figuring it out day by day.
Every day.
Yes.
Every day. Sometimes, like, I'll hit up my girlfriends, like, yo, so what you guys think about this?
Right.
Or, you know what, like, this is how I'm feeling today, but I need an advice. I need a guidance. And probably, you know, my friends can give me a great advice, but it's not until I really sit down and say, why do I feel like this? Why do I want to make that rational?
Pull that string.
Why do I want to make that rational decision?
Yes.
Like, what's going on inside of me to make me feel so uncomfortable to move forward with somebody or move forward in something, period?
Yep.
And it's self-awareness. And to me, healing is learning how to do that, even if it's just a little bit, because a little bit is going to teach you things that you didn't know about yourself.
Yeah, 100%.
You don't know about yourself. Like, I'm the person that I'm probably not going to tell you how I feel, but I'm going to cut you off like you never existed. And
that's not healthy, though.
And that's not healthy.
Yeah, at all. It's not.
That's not healthy. So I'm learning to be like, well, you made me upset. And the reason you made me upset is because A, B, and C, you know?
Okay.
Instead of just being like, yeah, we're not friends no more.
See, that's how I used to block, but now I'm like, I don't want to do that no more. I'm going to just learn how to just, you know, just ignore the situation. But I want to get back onto, you know how you said, like, dating for you with your dad, he was romantic and he was sweet.
Yeah.
So dating for me, my dad, he was kind of like, I love my dad to death, but he was more like, I'm in, I'm out. I'm in, I'm out. And he's your typical Dominican.
Right.
Your typical Dominican dad with the shoes with no socks. So, like, when he would talk to me and my sisters and I, he'll be like, "Tu si eres boba, tu si eres estúpida," like this and this and that. Like, and for the people who don't know Spanish, like, you're stupid. Are you a dumbass? Like, stuff like that. Like, that's how my dad used to talk to me. He was in and out, stuff like that. And it's like, for such a long time, I resented him, which fucked me up in relationships. Like, I would let men come in and out and talk to me crazy, call me all types of names, disrespect me, because that's what I was used to from him. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't used to, the only thing I say about my dad is, él trabaja. Like, he works. He used to work for his family and stuff like that. But That's what I was used to. And I had to learn, like, hey, that's not okay. Because he has his own inner child issues. He was talked to like that, and he passed it down to my sisters and I, which that's not healthy. So I don't want to talk to my child like that. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to work on that, you know?
I mean, it's all generational trauma, right?
Yeah,
like,
so you got to be the one to break that cycle, you know?
And I mean, like, so in my household, it was a little bit different, right? Like, my dad was, like, the calm, sweet one, expressive one. Let me hear you out, baby. Like, I was a daddy's girl 100%.
I was a daddy's girl,
like,
too.
Ain't nobody could tell me nothing wrong about my dad. Like, watch your mouth when it came to my dad. But my mom, she was very, like, strong. And she had a lot of willpower. And very, like, you got to do what you got to do, whether you sad or not. Like, you got to push forward. And that, to me, also affected me now. And, you know, I'm 32 years old. It affects me because it makes me be hard on myself. It makes me
By the way, you don't look 32, sis. Let's just put that out there.
Thank you. No, but seriously, like, the way my mom was more like, you have to go and be like a go-getter. You have to go and be a breadwinner. You cannot let a man determine who you're going to be and what you're about. Like, you have to hold that on your own 100%.
That's how my mom is too, though. Yeah.
You know, and that to me, like, caused me to always, like, want more. I don't feel like I have enough all the time. Like, I want more. I want to keep pushing and pushing and pushing. And it's just part of, like, the dynamic. And it also has caused problems, you know, in my marriage, in the sense of, like, you know, I'm an independent woman. I don't need you.
Are you like an alpha?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm an alpha female 100%.
For sure. Especially because I was a single mom for 4 years before me and my husband decided to, like, date and be like, all right, we're going to tie the knot. And, like, our tying the knot, when I'm telling you, girl, it was, like, quick. Like, you blinked and we was married.
Yeah, but that just goes to show a man knows what he wants. Like a man be knowing what he wants.
Yeah, you know, and that, besides the fact that I was a single mom for, you know, so many years alone, I had to do it on my own. I had to raise my little girl on my own. I had to, like, do the dad and mom work, you know. But also because I saw my mom for so long just doing it and doing it and doing it. It was like, I can't give up. I can't be weak.
You can't give up. That's
not a terminology that I can use. I'm weak. I'm sad. I can't. No, I have to keep going. I have to keep pushing.
That's where I'm at. Yep.
Yeah, and in a sense, you know, it brings its positive because then you're like, you know, I feel strong enough to keep pushing it. And I thank her every day for showing me that, because I am where I am today because of that drive. However, it is okay to let your man handle things. It is okay to be like, all right, you got it. I could fall back, but it's hard when you've been in that, like, just drive forever. Like, I had my daughter when I was 22 years old. We're talking about 10 years just being independent, doing what you got to do. I don't got time to be sad. I don't got time to do nothing wrong or like even feel bad for myself, period. I don't got time for that. So, you know, it's a learning curve for me because now I have to be like, well, I have to feel comfortable with this because he got it. You know, I have to be okay with his decision.
Like, let him be the man, be submissive. Like, I'm going to let you lead. I'm going to be, you know, more like on my feminine, soft girl era. Yeah.
But, you know, with that also comes a man creating a safety net for you.
Yes. And 100%.
You know, like, it was all about feeling safe, you know.
And secure.
Yeah, and secure. Like, not only do you have me financially, but do you got me emotionally? Because we're women. We go through our ups and downs.
We're emotional.
You know,
creatures.
we're emotional. We're emotional. And so, like, can I be vulnerable with you to the point that I can cry? I can tell you, like, yo,
how I feel when I'm feeling it. Like are you going to take it into consideration? Are you going to be open-minded and understand my point of view?
Right. And not everybody's like that. And again, that's when marriage comes in. It's like, you have to choose to want to change for yourself.
Right.
Because maybe changing a little bit of yourself is what's going to lead that marriage to work.
Yeah, it's going to help in the long run.
It's going to help give your partner what they need, what they crave from you. And unfortunately, like, not a lot of people can do that.
Yeah.
Because it's hard. It's hard to sit here and say, well, I don't feel like that you're fulfilling me. I feel I feel a void.
A void, yeah.
You know, it's hard to tell your partner, like, I still feel a void, like, with you. And so, you know, it's hard. And that's why I say, like, therapy sometimes, like, I know a lot of people are against it, but therapy can bring so much to light that you probably knew, but then you didn't know.
Yeah, that's true. And I just want to put out there, like, you know how you said, like, you were a single mom for 4 years and stuff like that? I always, like I told you before, like, you inspire me because you know how you said you were in a position where you were a single mom, you were struggling at one point, and now you're a successful woman, like, you know? So it's like, that inspires me because, like you said, I don't have time to feel sorry for myself. I don't have time for none of that. Like, I'm in a mode where, like, I'm trying to finish college. I'm trying to follow my dreams. I'm working full time. I'm paying everything on my own. And it's like, I don't want sympathy. I just got to keep going because at the end of the day, I want to make sure that I'm successful for my child to not need for nothing.
And for yourself as well.
Exactly, for myself, right? And not even only that, I want to be able to be like, okay, I got paid today. I'm going to pay this. And I still got extra money to go travel, you know? Because I want to live my life. I want to have fun. I want to be able to, like, do things and go travel and go have fun and do what I want to do, you know?
Definitely. I mean, like...
So you do inspire me in that aspect. And that's how I was like, you know, I got to bring her on here and let her know because it's like, that is inspiring to me, you know?
Well, thank you so much. It really does mean a lot, right? Because I don't share my story with just everyone. Just because I hold a role professionally where people just expect me to have my stuff together.
Yeah.
You know, and so people, you know,
but you're still human.
I am human, and a lot of, like, you know, a lot of people tend to forget that, like, yes, you know, I do this for a living. Yes, like, I am super empathetic. I will listen to you. I will help you out any way that I can. But at the end of the day, like, I have my own struggles. I have my own demons. You know, I dealt with a lot. You know, I came and conquered a lot too throughout my you know, my years. Being a single mom is not easy. I mean, I had people telling me, you're not gonna be nobody. I had people downplaying me because I was 22 years old. I had to drop my last semester of college to be able to bring life to this little girl who I love and adore. Right,
it's a blessing. Yes, a child is always a blessing, no matter what the circumstances are. Like, you know.
And you know what? Like, it don't matter how long it takes you. What matters is that you get
it done.
Yeah. Yep. I had my daughter. It took me 2 years to go back and finish that one semester. It took me 2 years to be like, all right, I'm studying enough. I feel confident enough in myself to be like, I can do it. You know, and everybody has their struggles. Everybody has their way of finishing things. And then after I had my son, that's when I was like, all right, I want to go get my master's done. I want to go do what I want to do because I want to keep helping people. I want to keep helping children, you know. And to me, it means everything to know that I inspire you because I was you one day. Like, I was you, you know. I was that girl, like, just trying to come up, you know.
It's like that's why you inspire me because I think about that. Like, you know how you said you were 22, you dropped out of college, you took you 2 years to go back. It was like, okay, I had a kid right after, because I went to trade school. Like, after high school, I went to trade school. I got my medical billing diploma. And then I never pursued that career because I didn't like it. So I'm like, okay, damn, I got to go back to college. But it's like, I was in, I was out. I was in, I was out. So this time around, I'm like, I'm in, I'm all the way in. I don't care what I'm going through. I'm going to just do it, you know? But it's like, you do have those people that will be like, oh, she don't got nothing going for herself. This is this and that. And like, will try to belittle you. And it's like, damn, bro, like.
And it's sometimes even your own people.
Yeah, it be your own people. It be your own people.
The people that you love, that you care about. Even to this day, it'd be your own people who be like, she is a good nobody. She's not going to be nobody. Yeah. This is going to be her life for the rest of her years in this earth. And it's like, no, who are you to
determine?
Right, who am I going to be? You know what? And I always say this. Your past doesn't define who you are.
Exactly.
Your past does not define the person that you're going to be. Only you are in control of continuing to choose that path. Now, if you want to choose differently and you want to make better of it, you always can. It's never too late. It doesn't matter. It's never too late to reach your goals, like, at all. Like, when I decided to go back to school, Debbie, I go to work, pick up my daughter from daycare, take her to my mom's house, go all the way to Long Island to go to school. To
Yeah,
come
Long
home.
Island is deep.
It's deep.
Yo,
it's deep, girl. I
It's
was just
deep. Like Long Island is
yes,
deep.
it is. And I used to come home and I used to be like, okay, I gotta go pick up my daughter from my mom's house. I gotta go home.
And then to look for parking.
Like,
yo,
that
I hate
was
looking for parking in New York. Like,
and then I'm here like a single woman with a child in the middle of the streets in the nighttime looking crazy. And I did it every day. I did it every day until I graduated.
And that was the best feeling for you,
It was
right?
the best feeling. And it was hard. There was times that I cried to my mom. There was times that I cried to myself. There was times that I struggled myself. I had one friend who I love so much and so dearly till this day. She picked up on it. She said, Nelly, are you okay? Mm-hmm. And I said, yeah, girl, I'm okay. But, you know, with that little voice, like, yeah, girl, I'm okay.
like, you know, because people pick up on energy. So.
And she was like, Nelly, you're not okay. And I was like,
it's okay not to be
right,
okay.
exactly.
You know?
It's okay to not be okay. But because of that mentality, I don't got time to feel sorry for me. I got to keep pushing. It took another person to be like, girl, I see you.
Yeah.
I see you and I know you need help. And if that help means just venting, like, I'm here for you. And I am so grateful for her because she was that one friend who saw through me and saw like
and actually cared.
Right. And she
know?
said my friend needs help. Like even if it was just taking me a lunch to work. Because we used to work together. So it was like even like, yo, I
shout
got
out to you, girl.
Yes,
I don't know who
girl.
you are, but shout out to you, okay?
You know, that to me to this day, I mean, it's been 10 years? Well, actually, 8 years since that? It's still like, it stays in my head because it's like, yo, people do see you. Yeah. It's just up to you to allow them in enough to be able to care for you, you know? And that's hard when you've been hurt, you've been betrayed, you've been let down, and you've been disregarded, you've been unvalidated, your feelings are dismissed. You don't got time for that no more.
Right. It's like you become numb to it.
Yeah.
Like you become numb and you just roll with the punches.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to just deal with it and keep going. Like, you know?
Yeah.
But you got to take a moment to feel.
You have to. You have to. I mean, if you don't, like, you're going to go into a state
of depression,
you know, emotional instability. And sometimes that comes with anger. So we talk about a lot about, like, to my clients, I talk a lot about, like, secondary emotions, right? So are you really angry? No, you might feel really sad. And why is that? Why is your primary emotion sad, right? And obviously, I didn't know this back then. So for me,
you're teaching me something new now.
Yeah, like for me, it was always like, I'm angry. I'm angry at the world. I'm angry at this. I'm angry at everything that's been going on. But no, in essence, I was just sad. I was sad because I was going through it, girl. I was just like, I was going through it. But you know what? Like, I have great support in my corner. My mom, my sisters, my dad, you know, my friends. And that means the world to me. Those are things that you shouldn't ever
support
forget.
is everything, yeah.
Yeah, it's really everything. But, you know, to keep it short, like, life is always going to throw something at you. You know, it's never going to just be like, okay, you went through this and you're good now. No, you're not good. Because even when I got married, like going through my pregnancy with my son, it was the worst, most sad pregnancy that I dealt with. And it should have been a special moment. It should have been something beautiful because I was married. I just bought this beautiful home. I was like living the American dream, right?
Like, well, we all married. I want to buy a house. I want a husband. I want a family.
Yeah. And then, you know, I had my son. Unfortunately, he was misdiagnosed while I was pregnant. And it took me through a very dark like time in my life where I was just angry, sad, crying, depressed. Scared.
Yeah, especially when it comes to your child. Yeah, that's hard.
And then to come out of that and be like, I'm gonna go back to get my master's. And I don't care who don't support me this time around. Like, I'm gonna do this because if I went through this and this, I could do this.
I could do this.
I got it.
Yes, but that goes back to what I said in my first episode. Like, you are the main character in your movie. So it's what you make it. Like, if you sit in your sadness and feel sorry for yourself and just make excuses, that's what your movie's going to be about, you know? But if you be like, okay, I'm going to go do this and I'm going to work on this and I'm going to plan this out and you know, I'm gonna go get help and this, and even if you don't have support, because I'm gonna be like, it's the opposite for me. I don't have that support. Like my only support is my sister. You know,
props to your
so
sister.
yeah, shout out to her, even though she get on my damn nerves. But my main support is my sister, and sometimes I like get upset, but I have to be understanding. Like, hey, my sister has her own life going on. She has her own struggles going on. So it's like I try to be better at like, okay, maybe I need to take her kids sometimes too. Like we have to be understanding of our support system too. But that's my only support system. So it's like, to me, it's about being the main character in your movie and just making your movie what you want it to be, with like no excuses, you know? So that's what that reminds me of. Like, okay, I was going through this, but I went back to go get my master's. And that's inspiring. Like, that just all inspires me, because I'm like, I don't care what I'm going through right now. I'm going to go and I'm going to go get that bachelor's degree.
Yes. And as you should, girl, because at the end of the day, you're only in charge. You're the one that's in charge for like how successful you want to be in life. Yeah. You can't, first of all, you can't wait for another person to be successful for you.
Right.
You can't wait for another person to love you, to care for you. You got to do it for
yourself
you all the time. Even if it means that you don't like the ugly of you, you got to learn how to accept it
and work on it.
At the end of the day, you are all what you got. You know,
you know what they say, you came into this world by yourself, you're gonna go out by yourself,
for sure.
So yeah,
for sure. And you know, and that also Comes with friendships, you know, like it's hard to build bond. How do you feel about like friendships, love, and like allowing others come into your life?
It's difficult for me. Like, I have had the same friends since high school, like literally. And this year I actually made like 2 friends like outside of high school. And this is crazy because that you mentioned that. I was like praying to God, and I pray to God every day. I say, God, please remove anyone or anything who is not meant to be in my life. And please bring in genuine people who are really valuable in my life, you know, that I can pour into them, they can pour into me. You know, this year I lost 3 friends.
Yeah, that's how it is.
I lost 3 friends, and 2 of them were from high school.
Yeah, it's how it is. Sometimes, like you say, like right now you're living in a different season of your life.
Yeah.
And friendships, sometimes you outgrow them.
And there are and y'all don't have that understanding no more. Like,
and there are friendships where you can like reconvene and be like, all right, this is where I'm at in life. This is where you're at in life. Is this worth moving forward? Is this worth it? And, you know, I had something like that happen to me while I was going through a very, like, dark time in my life. You know, I lost my best friend of, like, 20 years.
Damn, that's hard.
You know, and...
Because it be feeling like a whole breakup. Like, damn.
It was worse than divorcing my husband. It sure was.
That's how it be, because it's like, yo, you're really like my sister.
Girl, I even cried to you about it. I cried to everybody. I cried to everybody that was like, you okay? I was like, I'm not okay. But honestly, like, it took for us to be apart for a year and to see each other again, to be like, yo, I missed you. Like, I really missed my person.
Y'all needed that growth.
Yes.
To come back together. Yeah. And sometimes that happens.
Yeah.
And that's why we got to trust the process. We got to walk in faith, and we got to stop questioning, like, you know, God and what he has planned for us.